You're tuned into Repco Muscle Garage, the home of New Zealand's toughest muscle cars, hot rods and street machines. Proudly brought to you by Repco, in association with Mount Shop, Maguire's and Rislone. This week, the Yankee Haulers Morrinsville Motorama turns the Big 15. And muscle car makeovers, we shed raid real rides. But first up, thanks to the nice folks at Maguire's, we're checking out Tony's blown and bagged Bel Air, a long-distance realisation of a dream, one inspired by the silver screen.
Oh, the movie Running on Empty. Just ever since I seen that, always wanted one. Just never got around to it for years and years. Then I was racing Speedway. My mum was she was crook with cancer, and it was Mum that said to me, "Look, it's time to give up Speedway, it just takes up too much of your time." I said, "Yeah, but what am I going to do?" She said, "Go and buy the 57 you've always wanted." So that's what we did. When I started looking, it had to be black, red or yellow. It had to be the sports coupe, the two-door pillarless, and a disc conversion on the front end. Anything else after that, like with this thing, it's just heaps and heaps of extras on top of it that I got with it when I found it.
This might be where he ended up, but Tony's 6-month search started locally. The best of the bunch not far away in Hamilton. But it just wasn't ticking those boxes.
Went on to Google Images 57 Chevy Bel Air Sports Coupe. Just looking at photos of them, and then a photo of this came up. And I said to Kathy, my wife, I said, "Come look at this. This is what we want to try and find. This just looks right." So I clicked on the photo, and it actually went to a story about how he had owned the car for 25 years in LA. Then he moved to Valparaiso up near Chicago. And that's when he done a 3-year chassis off rebuild. Added all the extras, the airbag suspension, it's a Mustang 2 front end, triangulator 4-bar rear end with a 9-inch. Read through the story and we get right down to the bottom and bugger me dead if there isn't a phone number there. So I made a phone call. I forgot that it was 2 o'clock in the morning over there. And he said straight out, he said, "Look, you can't buy it sight unseen." And I said, "Oh, I think I know I've got someone over there that can come have a look at it." About $2,500 for the guy to go and look at it. I said, "George, I'm going to come over and have a look myself." He said, "Oh, that'll be good." But he said, "Only thing is, at the end of this month, we're going away for 3 weeks." I said, "Oh, no, I'm going to be at your place on Thursday." I think I bloody near gave him a heart attack because I couldn't hear a voice on the other end of the phone for a while. Got there about 7 o'clock at night, went inside, had a yak for a while and took me out into his workshop, which is at 55 degrees all year round, because they do get a lot of snow up there. Open the door, the heat near knocked me over, and here the car is sitting on the far side in one of those big blow-up plastic bags. And that's how we stored it in the wintertime. Never went out in the rain.
There's no shortage of horror stories. The ones where people get burnt on a car that didn't shape up to be the real deal. But that was certainly not the case here. George, an automotive engineer, had documented the overhaul right from bare chassis to the day Tony picked up the phone. And Tony is quick to acknowledge all that blood, sweat and tears, even showing up with a custom-made tribute to adorn the Chev.
It says custom built in the USA by George R. Reed. Poor old George, he had tears in his eyes when I pulled that out and stuck it on the dashboard. I always refer to it, as George's car.
In fact, the pair have struck up a real friendship as the result of that trip, and they've stayed in touch to this day. Tony even giving George a courtesy heads up when it came time to make the 57 more to his tastes. A pair of BMW bucket seats would find their way into the well-appointed cabin, while Tony's running on empty influences and speedway background meant the 305's days were always numbered. The 57 now runs a 358 cube crate motor that's been given a thorough going over and crammed full of good gear by Stealth race engines, is topped by twin 600 Hollies which feed that 671 supercharger.
Don't know, superchargers just do something for me. The sound, the feel, yeah.
The blown small block now punches out a healthy estimated 600 horsepower, but crucially, the Chevy retains its nice manners.
Ollie from Stealth Race Engines up in Whangarei, he used to build my race engines. He's a whiz kid with an engine, he really is. But he said, look, send the supercharger up, we'll Teflon tip it, we'll do all this, we'll do that. He said, we'll get 1,000 horsepower. And I just said, no, you won't. I said, Ollie, it's a street car. It's not a drag car, it's a street car. We've stayed with vacuum secondaries to make it really drivable down the bottom. But, like, you know, you put your foot down and it'll get up and boogie. But in the same token, I can turn around, the wife can take it shopping. It's that easy to drive.
That's not talking it up either. Tony estimates they've put an easy 30,000 Ks on the car in the 6 years they've owned it. Rain, shine, school balls, this Chevy earns its oil changes. Tony may have bought a whole lot more car than he was shopping for at the time. Independent front end, airbags, not to mention a lifelong friendship. It's a feel-good tale that skips the treacherous chapters of car importing and gets straight to the good stuff, with Tony driving the wheels off his dream car.
It's a 57 Bel Air. You don't need to say a hell of a lot more than that. I think they speak for themselves, yeah.
Right, thanks to our mates at Mount Shop, we're shed raiding. This week we dropped by Silverdale's one-stop muscle car shop, Real Rides.
We're pretty much kind of muscle car fixer-uppers, really. You know, we're doing mechanical, electrical, body paint, almost everything except the upholstery, really. More for me now, it's the people that we're dealing with. You know, people are getting right into these cars, and it's just good to see them happy at the end of the day. You know, when they've spent all their hard-earned cash getting their car done, and they can get out there and use it. We've got around about kind of 20 cars here at the moment. You know, ranging from like a 280Z V80, we got an old Viva, and then a bunch of Australian and American muscle cars, really. Late 50s through to mid 70s kind of thing.
And when it comes to the craft of muscle cars, the Real Rides crew have been carving out their own niche.
Yeah, well, after going to SEMA several times in Las Vegas, we started looking at the trends over in America and kind of taking bits and pieces from them, and they're leaps and bounds ahead of us, but just taking some of those styles and just making something different to what everyone else is producing at the moment.
That includes a couple of shop projects. Caton's never been one to keep wearing the same old beaten path, evident with his own cars like this twin-turbo big block Camaro. Fitting in with the pack isn't high on the priorities of two more Chevys nearing completion.
So that's a 67 Chevelle that was brought into the country just before COVID lockdown. We spotted it on Facebook Marketplace and thought, oh, well, that might be a good project to do, you know, after we get back to work, and, you know, we thought things might get a bit quiet. It was already painted, had a fresh supercharged 383 and Turbo 400 in it, and it had some good extra bits and pieces put on it. It just hadn't really been finished properly, so we got it and pulled it apart, and then we kind of went a little bit further than what I expected on it, but so we're nearly done now, and I better get the thing for sale.
Going a bit further on the Chevelle saw new brakes, a new stance and new wheels. The seats are at the upholsterers, while the Pro-Charge small block and box are also out for a freshen up, a good excuse to fabricate new engine bay covers. The Chevy came with a fresh lick of paint, but many more hours have gone in since in prep for a new coat of black, while the aero accents give this coupe its battle-ready guise.
Alistair, who's my main fabricator, he's been toiling away on these front spoilers and things for a while now, and we've made a few of them, and each one gets, you know, is made differently, and we get a little bit more elaborate. And so, you know, one thing with the 67 Chevelle is that the front sway bar sticks out, and I've never liked that, so I decided, hey, let's basically build a front valance and add a little splitter to it instead of doing a spoiler, and that was kind of where that started. And then I decided I wanted to have exhausts out the side, and then we needed to not see the chassis rails, so we wanted to put those little extras on there. And then we thought, oh, we've done something at the front and the side, we needed to do something at the back, so then we built a little aluminium rear spoiler, and yeah, so it was just, you know, little ideas, and just worked on them, and that's kind of where we've ended up, really. We go to these big car shows and you get all these ideas, and the customer doesn't always want to pay, you know, because they kind of can't see the vision. Just wanted to get some of these ideas, you know, into reality so that people can see what's available here in New Zealand.
The Chevelle stablemate, a carbon fibre-clad pro-charged 496 cube big block 63 Impala coupe, also makes a strong case for daring to be different.
Yeah, well, that's a car I've had for a little bit longer. The ideas started before I even bought the Chevelle, and once again, from SEMA, we seen a car over there that we really liked, and so we took some of the styling from that, and we put the late model wheels on it, and then kind of built it from there, you know. The carbon stuff they've been using over in America quite heavily, and so with what we've done with that, it's just changed the, you know, it's not making it any faster or anything like that. It just changes the look, makes it different to the next guy again.
And with a couple of very serious builds just waiting on floor space to free up at real rides, it seems Caton and his team won't be short on ways to fill their days anytime soon.
It's more exciting than ever, you know, the jobs just keep getting better, and the builds get bigger, and some of the components that are available now, and you know, the horsepowers that they're getting out of these late model engines, yeah, it's more and more exciting every day.
Protection of hybrid ceramic.
Whoa.
Now in 3 easy-to-use products. In original spray wax, now as a liquid wax, and a spray detailer. Meguiar's hybrid ceramic family with advanced SiO2 technology. Meguiar's, ceramic made easy.
Rizlone has been in engines almost as long as engines have been in cars. Why? Because from then until now, there's never been a perfectly clean fuel. This means every time you fill up, you're adding pollutants and contaminants to your fuel system. Rizlone Fuel Injector Cleaner can cure those woes and help save your engine. Rizlone Fuel Injector Cleaner adds an upper cylinder lubricant, providing double the cleaning power out of the same bottle. We know something about aging well, so when we say it's your engine's fountain of youth under a screw top, you can count on it. Rizlone is the original engine tune-up. Available at participating stores near you.
Welcome back to Repco Muscle Garage. Right, thanks to Rizlone, we hit the Waikato for the 15th annual Morrinsville Motorama, a weekend celebration of car culture put on by local hot rod club, Yankee Haulers.
Motorama gives you the opportunity to bring your vehicles out, no matter what it is. Everybody has a different choice and flavour of vehicles. The whole thing is to embrace that uniqueness of vehicle. Yeah, this is our 15th year. It derived from a Morrinsville car show, which I think the Austin Healy Club ran. The guy bequeathed it to us and said, well, if you want to carry on the show, it's yours. So we picked the ball up and ran with it. I think the first year we had probably 50 cars, but as time's progressed, we've got now in excess of 700 cars, probably around 50 trucks, bikes. We've introduced the Miss Retro and Mr. B competition. So yeah, each year we reevaluate and you know, bring on something new. We generally turn on the weather. You know, we enjoy the atmosphere of everybody and what everybody brings to the table. Everybody contributes to it, which makes it the big success.
Yeah, today was exceptional. I think we've probably hit a new record for visitors as we did last year. Just visually, there's a lot more vehicles in here, a lot more trucks.
Yeah, it's a long day for us, but there's a lot of cars that you don't see around quite often until you come to some of these events. A very good turnout.
Just see the enjoyment on everyone's faces, whether it's young, old, car enthusiasts all in one spot. To be able to sort of tally up the money and give the majority of it out to like Kids in Need, Waikato this year, or other charities and things it's incredible, it's cool. So.
These days, the Motorama is a 2-day affair if you go all in. Saturday's schedule starts by hitting the road, with entrance off on a mystery cruise before the evening's drive-in movie. Sunday is the big one, show day at the Morrinsville Showgrounds, where the big field is chocker-filled to near capacity.
The public that do come in that may not have the opportunity to own a vehicle but still have the appreciation of them, and it could be a vehicle that they've grown up with as a kid, maybe had their first date in or something like that, something that means something to them. So they can come along here and they'll find their car that they've been very passionate about. The other thing too, which we have over the weekend, is the cruise. which is on the Saturdays. So it's a chance that people who may not even necessarily belong to a club can actually rub shoulders with and drive alongside people from different walks of life and different parts of the country, come along there and just enjoy the day out.
While the Motorama chalked up its 15th birthday, the hosts, Morrinsville's Yankee Haulers, are quickly closing in on half a century.
So Yankee Haulers Incorporated from Morrinsville, so it was established 47 years ago, just for a couple of locals. They got together, wanted to basically get out in their cars a bit more and have a bit of a club. So it died off a little bit, must have been maybe 15, 20 years ago now. And then, picked back up with a bit of a surge, and one stage there we were up to about 110, 115 members. Top pub used to be absolutely packed with people on a meeting night. Sometimes I wonder if that's why we get members, because we have our meetings in the pub, but that's all right. The last probably 5 to 8 years we've been pretty steady with around that sort of 30 to 40 members. Anything from sort of really early style hot rods in the early 30s and 40s through to a couple of late model Mustangs and Dodgers and things like that. And even though we're Yankee Haulers, we're not predominantly Yankee stuff, so anything really from Australian to Yankee stuff and anything that's cool, basically. We're not pushing to get huge, like I said before, we were up to 110, 120, and a lot of us didn't really enjoy it because it was hard to know everyone. The size we've got now is great because everybody knows everyone. And you see someone in the street, you stop, you talk, you catch up. In saying that, anyone's welcome and doors are always open to talk and things like that. So.
Fairly new to the Yankee Hauler ranks is Jason, with partner in crime, Claire.
We've been a couple of years now, but for us, we're trying to find something for more like-minded people, I suppose. And we felt that the Yankee Haulers was a good fit for us, quite open, pretty easygoing, not too much pressure. So it's a 1970 Plymouth Roadrunner. It's originally a 383 car, but it's running a 440 in it at the moment. Found it in Masterton, it's pretty much as is. It had a fair bit to do to get it back to road legal again, but lucky enough to find the listing in the States before it was imported, and all the drivetrain had been redone and all the interior had been redone in 2014, and all the underside of the vehicle had also been rebuilt. So we're looking for a B-body. Obviously there's a few options out there, but being in New Zealand, unless you're going to import, there's I suppose seldom cars for sale. So particularly with this one, with the colour combinations and the white vinyl, we thought it was a bit different than what we're used to seeing. So took the opportunity and grabbed it.
It's a 1939 Chev Coupe and it's running a 350 Chev small block, 3-speed trans in the back of it. I just like coupes. Yeah, it's good. It was up for sale and thought, I'll grab it. A few years ago now, of course. It wasn't too bad. Paint was bubbling a little bit and what have you. Soda blasted all that off and started back at bare metal again. While we had the part, we put power steering in it and limited slip diff, changed the wheels, put all new upholstery through it. But body-wise, it's pretty much the same as I got it. It honks along pretty well when you put your foot into it. Not over the top, but reliable. Doesn't break down very often. Matter of fact, I don't think it's breaking down at all. Yeah, we use it as much as we can to go to quite a few events. There's no point in having it if it's parked in the garage all day. Try to get out whenever we can. A lot of fun.
A 1947 jail bar, basically a Ford pickup. It's been chopped 2.5 inches in the roof, running a supercharged 327 Chev engine, turbo 350 trans, which has been shift kitted, Ford 9-inch diff, 40 litre tank, which is too small, considering it only does 4.75 k's to the litre, and it will never be electric, just under. It was right place, right time, I'd known the truck before we actually purchased it. And we actually purchased it at Beach Hop 15 years ago. Went around, took it for a drive, me and another friend, and wife and I decided, done deal, buy it, and we'll carry on from there. Broken a lot of bits, rebuilt a lot of bits, but that's just all part and parcel with, use them. It was just more a childhood thing. I always said to myself when I was at school that I'll one day along the way I'd own a supercharged vehicle. So I have, and I would never have another one without one, because I just love them to bits. They're a great piece of machinery. Just smooths the whole motor up. Just have that nice smooth power. They're not actually that bad to run. If you stay out of the boost, they're quite economical, but as soon as you get into the boost, you're uneconomical. It was always going to get modified. That's just me, like sort of any car that I have, it's modified. Just saw the potential, it's just grown on us, and we've just got more and more enjoyment out of it as the years have gone on, so yeah, love it.
Keep an ear out for Yankee Hauler's 16th Morrinsville Motorama in February 2022. Tell them Repco Muscle Garage sent you. Your ride needs some love? We've got you sorted. Thanks to our mates at Maguire's, we have this massive complete car care pack worth over $760 to give away. Plus a $500 mount shop voucher to keep the underside ship-shape too. And to top it off, 1 year subscription to NZ V8 magazine. To enter, simply head to themotorhood.com and hit the Repco Muscle Garage link. The winner will be drawn at the end of the series. Easy. During this year's Repco Supercars Championship season, the garage is your go-to place for all things supercars and motoring. Exclusive content, special guests, and your chance to win amazing experiences at the track. Register your interest today. Repco Muscle Garage was proudly brought to you by Repco. It starts with the parts. Mount Shop, undercar specialists. Maguire's, people who love cars love Maguire's. And Rizlo, high performance additives for high performance vehicles.